YouTube, what is going on? Crowder here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys the fastest way to get gold camo on all of your assault rifles. So as I get all the guns gold, I'm going to make a tutorial on it, and then so on and so forth for the SMGs, the LMGs, and every other gun in the class set. But we're finally here, ready to go, and we have a whole bunch of information to help you guys out. If you do enjoy this video, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you guys want to see next when it comes to tips and tricks of Call of Duty. But let's get into it. Starting with the class setups, the class builds, and just everything that I'm doing when it comes to assault rifles before we get into the tips and tricks like actually in the game. So yeah, we're going to start off with just one gun. I'm going to explain kind of the attachments that I was using on some of the weapons so you guys can have like just an easier or better understanding of just building your weapon for headshots. And then after that, I'm going to show you some perks, all the loadouts that I was using, and then we're going to get into the game and have some fun, of course, because that's the fun part of all of this. So what I was using as much as I can is you guys got to make sure you're popping your double XP tokens because they did carry over from other games. So you potentially might have a lot of double XP just waiting to be used, especially weapon XP. It makes this whole process a lot easier when you're getting attachments. But what I was using for the muzzle on most of the guns was the recoil muzzles. Now, some guns I actually got done before I got all of the muzzle brakes actually unlocked. For example, this one. So I was using the vertical recoil control muzzle. Really what I'd be going for is the first shot recoil. I'm doing a lot of hardcore when I'm playing for these headshots, so the first shot recoil muzzle is kind of what I'm aiming for. But those two muzzles are the ones that I was using the most. And then when it comes to the barrel, it really depends on what gun you were using. So I'm going to explain this now. When you pull up this barrel and you hit the R2 to see all your stats, you can see that the health in hardcore, if I'm not mistaken, is 30. So up to 70 meters here, my damage is at 31, so I don't need to use a damage range barrel or anything of the sort. I'm going to get a one-shot headshot all the way up to 70 meters, which is really, really good. And then for the barrel, I ended up using a lot of the bullet velocity barrels over anything else. I just like when my bullets were connecting, and most of the ARs kind of one-shot headshot in hardcore anyway. So the bullet velocity barrel is really nice, but if you're also someone that likes to snap around or just be a little bit more snappy with your aim, the short barrel is not a really bad shout either, but I was using the bullet velocity barrel. And then a lot of the stock that I was using was the one that was giving me more aim walking movement speed. I was doing a lot of ADSing and just pre-aiming, so I like to be a little bit more mobile with that being said. But you can also use a control stock, which is going to help your horizontal and vertical recoil control, which is also good if you're someone who struggles in that category. So that really is all preference. And then it can kind of just go anywhere from there. Either your underbarrel being one of the ones that help your horizontal recoil, just to make the gun a little bit easier to shoot. You can also use the aim walking steadiness one because you're doing a lot of pre-aim walking and aiming idle sway, so you don't want your red dot moving around when you're kind of aimed down sight for that headshot, which is also not a bad shout. And then you can also use your fire mods, which is the recoil spring. So I'm going to give you a bunch of different loadouts that you're about to see on your screen here in a second, but that's kind of the entire idea of what I was doing when it came to just making most of my classes. So that's the general idea. The optic that I was doing as well, I can't forget about this, is going to be the ELO sight on most of the guns. For certain guns, specifically this one, the MXR17, I was struggling with a little bit to get headshots with. I used the holographic sight. It just made it a little bit easier to target those headshots. But the last thing I would say, which I didn't do with assault rifles, but I'm probably going to do this with submachine guns, is the thermal holographic sight. If you throw a smoke grenade down and you're really kind of struggling, this is not a bad scope to use if you're throwing smokes. Then looking through the smokes for a little bit easier of headshots too. It's not a bad strategy to do. I just didn't prefer to do it with assault rifles because I was kind of getting it done pretty fast. For perks, I was using lightweight, scavenger, and dexterity. I wasn't really using gunfighter unless I absolutely had to for one of the challenges. It is a challenge for some of these assault rifles. And I was using active camo as soon as I got it, and then pinpoint grenades. The pinpoint grenades are nice because when you throw the pinpoint grenade, you actually can see them through the wall, and sometimes it helps you line up a pretty easy headshot because you know exactly where they're coming from and exactly how they're moving. So the pinpoint grenades with TAC Expert was something that I was trying to do as much as I possibly could. I was also using a little bit of perk greed and using ninja on the maps that I felt like I was getting sounded, because being able to flank people and shoot them in the back is a really good thing when it comes to headshots. It makes it a lot easier, especially on certain routes if you're using camo. So I was going back and forth between those two. It just made my whole entire process a lot easier. So now that is everything when it comes to class building and of course just perks and all of that. Now here on your screen are about to be the 6 loadouts that I was using for all of the 6 assault rifles. You guys can take a look at that, screenshot it, however you want to do it. Make sure you guys are kind of using these, or at least using them as a reference, and then building your own stuff to help you out best. And now let's get into the fun stuff, aka the in-game ideas, what I was doing, and some of the just tips and tricks that will help you out a little bit more. All right, so now I'm just gonna kind of run through a pub for a little bit, probably not even play the whole entire thing, but just explain exactly what I was doing when I was playing for headshots, or kind of what I was thinking, or anything that I was just going through to help you out a little bit. So with assault rifles, you can be a little bit more passive because they are stronger, they have more bullet velocity, and they have the range to one-shot headshot from farther. So when you're, oh my god, that guy just got so many kills. Okay, anyway, John Wick's in my lobby. So when you're playing this, there's going to be a bunch of different things you're able to do. But a lot of it is just going to be like taking these power spots and then just aiming where their headshots would be if they were to do it. So you want to center a little bit higher and then be pretty patient. If you are someone who is a little bit more impatient, you can get the better power spots, which I'm about to show you here in a second. But usually you would just wait. Now I can see in my mini-map that they're to the left. So you kind of just want to try and see if you can peek them in hardcore. It's going to be a lot of frustrating deaths like that. But the more you do it and the more you kind of realize where they're spawning, the more you'll have a better chance. So the next thing you want to do is kind of just like get up, pushed up to the middle map, and to start trying to get these headshots when you can by centering at the top and just going from here. So that was 3 headshots right there. And the thing you really want to do the most is you want to kind of get in pushed up corners into their base and then be passive if you're not the most skilled player. So like right now they're spawning in the back. I see that guy with the pinpoint grenade, and then you can kind of pop out and give yourself a chance for a headshot. I definitely choked that one right there. Not the best example, but now they're spawning on the other side, and I'm going to look up and spray at the headshot again. So his head should be around here. So I'm going to center high and just be patient when I can. If I was actually able to hit that shot, it would have been nice. But we already have a few headshots. We're looking pretty good. And the same thing, you're just going to have to keep doing this repetitively. It's going to be a very annoying kind of process, but it will end up being very helpful in the end. So you want to just see over here. If I get a headshot there, not going to be working there. I can also off angle myself here until they peek over this way and kind of just pre-aim at the headshot too. So I'm going to like be patient here. Hopefully someone peeks. If I get a little lazy, you can kind of just look for the headshots this way again. Pre-aim that head glitch, not see them. Here you go, another headshot. Again, pre-aim about head high as much as you can. And the more you do this, the more of a flow you'll kind of find yourself into, and it's going to be something that is going to be an absolute grind, but it will help out in the long run. And just going to kind of wait here. Boom, easy headshot, just like that. So you want to go to like these high traffic lanes, whether it's the top this way, whether it's looking this way, whether it's looking into their buildings, like looking at this head glitch over here where my teammate is. You want to put yourself in these positions as much as possible to give yourself the easiest headshots that you can do. So that was an absolute miss. Again, a very high traffic lane is that lane over there. So what I'm going to try and do now is work over here, lay down, and just kind of pre-aim head high as much as I can. So this guy's laying there, headshot. And same thing. So I'm going to spawn up, go to a high traffic area, this left lane or this garage, and boom, headshot. Call in your UAVs. It looks like they spawn behind me. Yeah, I think I just saw my teammates spawning. A big thing in hardcore is also knowing where they're spawning. So if we're spawning on this side, they're going to be spawning on the opposite side. So you're going to be able to predict a high traffic lane as much as you can every time you spawn in. So I think I'm behind this guy. Headshot here. See if they're coming from this side right now. I'm going to get on a head glitch and spray at the headshot this way. So now, see if anyone peeks these areas. Headshot. Oh, headshot again. So you're kind of getting the gist of exactly what I'm doing is just going to some of the lanes where you can and just kind of pre-aiming and getting these easier headshots as much as you can and getting behind cover to give yourself an advantageous gunfight when it comes to hardcore because you can die very quickly. The biggest thing in hardcore is just not getting caught sprinting, and you want to be pre-aimed as much as you can. So you kind of want to get pushed up to a decent position and then hold it and go for the headshots as you're just like looking around. So now that I'm on a pretty good spot, see if I can get any more. I got a guy slipping right there. I'm gonna look around. It looks like they might be spawning behind us now. I think they are. Yeah, our teammates all over there, so they're gonna be on this side. Probably gonna come through this way or the bottom door. So I'm gonna pre-aim this as much as I can. Just be patient here and see if anyone walks into a free headshot. That's not gonna work. Now the next thing that I said earlier is also going to be this, where you're going to come off spawn, and on the bottom right, you can see that I have active camo. So now I'm going to call active camo in, and I'm going to use this to see if I can kind of get into their base and get myself a freebie as well. So I'm going to run in. See, this guy doesn't see me. This guy doesn't see me, and that's a free headshot there. So that's going to be a really important thing to give yourself some free headshots too, is going for that as much as possible. Every time you get camo, you should be popping it. So now this is a high traffic lane again. Free aim about head high. They spawn behind me on the mini-map. Actually think they just spawned right next to me, and that wasn't the best shots there out of me. But that is basically every single game on every single map that I was doing. It was just going to the high traffic lanes and centering head high to get as many headshots as I can. I think I got a decent amount already in this video in a short amount of time, so I'm gonna leave that. But that is just the general idea of what I was doing for a short sneak peek of exactly what I was doing. Now when it comes to game modes, what I prefer you to do is go to your quick play and filter. And now I have hardcore Nuketown filtered there. If you're not a Nuketown guy, you can take it off. I think the best game modes for headshots, in my opinion, were Kill Confirmed and Team Deathmatch. Domination's not a bad game mode either, especially when you can spawn trap other teams. It's a very good game mode to keep people contained, but I find that the least sweaty people play Kill Confirmed and Team Deathmatch, no offense. But if you think you are a little bit better than that, you don't care about your competition, you just want to be able to spawn trap them and have a bunch of opportunities to get headshots, Domination is a really good one as well. Those are the game modes that I was rocking when I was running through all my headshot challenges. Okay, so now next up is going to be the special challenges before we get to the mastery challenge of the gold camo. And every single special challenge on every gun is going to be a little bit different. On the M15 specifically, it's 50 kills while moving, which is pretty self-explanatory. All you have to do is just be moving around, sliding, jumping, walking. It does not really matter. If you just kind of play the game, you're going to get 50 kills anyway. So this one is pretty easy. You can see as I'm talking right now, it's just kind of just make sure your character is moving, jumping, and even if you are pre-aimed up in hardcore, make sure you are strafing and moving as well, and it should be pretty easy. For the next special challenge, it is going to be get 30 objective kills with the M15. Now, any objective kill that you are going for in these challenges, no matter what the class set is going to be specific to the point that you have to be in the objective. So for this specific challenge, I'd recommend playing either Domination or Hardpoint. I liked Hardpoint the most, and every single hardpoint that spawns up, I need you to run into that and play kills from within the hardpoint. I actually thought that if you kill people out of the hardpoint, it counted, and it was not counting, so that was unfortunate when I was kind of doing the challenge. So pop on a hardpoint, get into the hill, and then pre-aim up and get as many kills as possible. That is the fastest way to get this done. As you can see as we're talking, it's very simple. All you have to do is just keep getting into the hill, pre-aiming where they're spawning, which is going to be most of the time the opposite side of where your teammates are spawning from, to give you some direction and just frag out from there. And for the last special challenge on the M15 is going to be 20 kills with a launcher attachment equipped on the underbarrel, and that is going to be your underbarrel attachment. Make sure you're using the one that is the frag because it is the easiest one. It explodes on impact. It makes it much easier to do. It is going to be the M335X frag one. Those are the ones that explode on impact. It is going to be the easiest way to do this. This is really self-explanatory. You just pop this one on and you start YouTubing people away. It's kind of fun. Definitely irritating to play against, but a very simple challenge that you'll be able to get done. And then once you get all your special challenges done, you are able to go for the Gold Mastery Challenge, which is just 3 kills without dying. That one is self-explanatory. Just pre-aim, put yourself in cover, and just start playing for those 3 kill streaks. Another notable special challenge is going to be on the AK. It's going to be Hipfire Kills. Now, when it comes to Hipfire Kills, you can use a loadout just like this on your screen. And then all you have to do after that is just hip fire away when you were playing. Another thing that I ended up throwing on when I was going for the hip fire kills was gung ho, just so you can fire while sprinting. And you were going to be able to fire while sprinting. And also, if you're not sprinting or moving around, you can crouch or lay down to make your hip fires more accurate, especially when you were playing normal. You'll see your crosshair actually go in, but if you're not playing that and you're playing hardcore, it still does count. So you can get pushed up into corners, be a rat, and just lay down and hip fire. It's pretty easy, but at the same time, those attachments, those perks, and just this playstyle in general is going to help you out a lot to get those hip fires done as fast as possible. And for the last special challenge that I think is worth talking about in this video is going to be on the Maverick, and it's going to be on the Diamondback challenge one for the specials. It's basically going to be killing enemies that are affected by a non-lethal score streak or tactical. And the way that I was doing that was with EMP grenades. Now, this was the biggest pain in the ass out of all the challenges that I did, because I feel like sometimes you threw an EMP or threw a stun grenade or a flashbang and it didn't register for some reason. But I found the most success with EMP grenades. If you guys have any other tips or tricks, again, as much as these videos are to help you guys, this is also a community thing that we're trying to build here on this channel to help each other. So I will take all comments of what worked for you guys as well, because I'm going to try and help you guys as much as possible, but we should also all be helping each other. So that's what I did for this challenge, and it worked pretty well. It was still a huge pain in the ass, but I was using EMPs. Update, guys, while I was recording this video, this update was not active, but now I'm pretty sure getting kills while your UAV is active now counts as well as EMP or stun kills, making this challenge a lot easier. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, that should be it when it comes to this video. Hopefully this helps you out a little bit. Let me know if you guys like this kind of video. If you did, I will do it for SMGs, and then so on and so forth. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you guys so much for the support on the recent videos so far. Since Black Ops 7 has come out, the views have been insane. So thank you guys. Appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.